It's 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It must be time for Facebook Live. Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and for the 7th weekday in a row, we're answering questions for remote workers and remote leaders, all because of the COVID-19 situation. I'm glad to be with you tonight. If you've been following or watched any of these others, you can see I'm in a different location tonight because in Indiana, we are supposed to be sheltered in place. So I'm doing this from my home office rather than Remarkable House, my other office, which is every bit as remote because I'm by myself there as well. But here I am in my home office tonight, different background, a little busier perhaps, but I'm happy to be with you. Tonight we're going to talk very specifically about questions we've been getting around micromanagement and remote work. And we're going to talk about this from two perspectives, from the leader's perspective and from the team member's perspective. And I realize that if you are a leader, you may be dealing with this on both sides because you're a manager in the middle, which means that you may be being micromanaged and you may be micromanaging. So we're going to talk about this a little bit. Of course, micromanagement is an issue. It is a challenge, regardless of how we work, where we work, whether we see our folks or not. Probably a bigger challenge when we're doing it remotely, especially if we're doing it remotely for the first time. So first of all, let's start here. Why does it happen? It happens because leaders feel like they need to have some control. They want to know what's going on. They may feel like they know the work really well and want to help out. There's lots of reasons why it might happen, but specifically why it's happening now is leaders are feeling like they have even less control. There's an illusion that you know what people are doing when they're in the building with you. It's really an illusion. You don't really know unless you're literally looking over their shoulder. And so it's not as different as you might think, and yet that's where people are often at. So a couple of things. The first thing to realize is that very few leaders feel like they're micromanaging. Because at the end of the day, micromanagement is in the eye of the beholder. It's not whether you think you are. You probably don't want to be. The reality is the other person thinks you are. The other thing is I could lead two people exactly the same way. I'll just take two random people on my team. I could be leading or managing, let's just say, Chuck and Marissa in the same way. And one of them might think, man, Kevin is doing this really well for me. And the other one might say, I wish you would let me alone and let me do my work. And I'm doing it exactly the same way. One of them is thinking that I'm micromanaging, the other isn't. And so part of it is the perception is the reality, and it's important for us to keep that in mind. So when we're remote, as a leader, we do feel less control, and so we want to know what's going on, and we feel like we want to do that. And yet, even if we're just trying to be helpful and check in to our team members, it might feel like we're checking up. Now, this is a case of not perception. This is something we got one of my team members read and sent to me. It's not from our team, I don't think. It says, now we're all being required to keep a detailed log of everything we're doing all day long. Well, if you're doing that as a leader, you are micromanaging. I mean, I don't need any more context than that sentence to know that that's a problem. But most of us probably aren't there. So what do we do if we're a remote leader and we don't want to be micromanaging, but perhaps we are? Let's start here. We need super clear expectations. What are your expectations of folks in terms of the work and the quality of it and the frequency with which you want to check in? And if you can get those things clear, first of all, if you are crystal clear on that and can share that with the team, odds are you'll be better able to let go a little bit because you've been able to be clear about exactly what you want. Second, is that if you will set with me, if you are the boss and I'm your team member, if you will set with me the frequency with which you want to meet. Hey, Kevin, I want us to meet every other day. Then if I'm going to expect that you're going to reach out to me, or you're going to have a meeting with me, or we're going to chat every other day, and it won't feel like oppressive because I at least know it's coming. And I know that you want to meet with me, and so we've got at least a shot in that regard. Okay? So be clearer on your expectations. It will help you let go, but it will also help the other person know what you're trying to do and finding a rhythm and a frequency, right? That's the next thing. Two more things here. One is when you have those frequent check-ins, be keeping track of what it is that you want to talk to them about. I use a journal with pages for every person as a way to keep track of the things I want to talk with them about or ask them about or get information from them about when I have those check-ins. If I don't do that, I might end up firing an email off to them all the time. I might end up sending them a instant message all day long, and they suddenly feel like they're being micromanaged. So if you will manage your own thoughts so that you are ready for the check-ins that you've scheduled, there will be a better flow, and it will be less likely that they will feel micromanaged. Okay, now, what if you are the team member and you've got that situation? They're making us keep a detailed record. They're doing all this stuff. Hello, Adrian. If you've got people saying, my boss is crazy. They're not giving me any opportunity to do my work. They're checking up on everything I'm doing. Well, the first thing that I would say to you as a team member, if that's really happening, I'm sorry. But I would also say that what you can do is try to be an influence to them. You can't change their behavior, but you can potentially influence it. I want to give you a few things that you can do. The first thing I want you to do is to take a breath, because they're new at this too. They're not new at leading, but they're new at leading remotely. And if you're at all freaked out and trying to figure this out, guess what? So are they. And they may be under more pressure than you to make sure that work is still getting done. So recognize where they may be, take a breath, give them a chance to learn, just like you're hoping to have the chance to learn. Okay? And the next thing is, if they're not trying to give you those clear expectations, ask for them. The next time they reach out to micromanage, say, hey, can we talk about what it is that you most need from me? I want to make sure I'm delivering that. And don't say, hey, bub, quit being a micromanager. But what you can do is try to find out, and by the way, calling them bub is probably not a good idea. But just try to find out from them what it is that they are most needing from you. And if you can figure that out or find that out, or even think about the kinds of questions that they're asking you when they're micromanaging, you can get a shot at helping, right? So make sure you know what they need, and then make sure you're delivering it. The more that they know you're delivering, the more they'll take a breath, and the more likely it is that they'll let go a little bit. But it really all starts with expectations. So if they're not reaching out to set those, you can reach out to them and set them and say, hey, seems like we're having a lot of interaction. I want to make sure I'm delivering what you need. Can we come up with a rhythm or a flow or a frequency of which we will communicate that'll help us be more successful? And that's what I'd encourage you to do. Remember, you can't change their behavior, but you might be able to influence it. So I'm giving you a couple things to influence it. I've also given you things to think about, to say, you know what? They're trying to figure it out too. So maybe grant them a little patience, a little grace, so that maybe they'll get there over time. But you can create the conversation and initiate it just like they can. We don't want to do it from a place of accusation or judgment, but from a place of curiosity and understanding, so that we've got a chance to make it better for everybody. Okay? And the last thing is, of course, well, you can encourage them to watch this video and say, and you know what, I'm going to be doing a session for a client in a couple of days. We were going to be face-to-face for the day. Instead, we're going to do a video session using their web platform. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about, is making sure that together we've got clearer sets of expectations as leaders and as team members. Before we go, a couple of things, as always. If you haven't seen this before, we do have a resource section that we are working on today, continuing to change it and update it, added a bunch of new great content today. We're making it easier to search on and find things, and it is our COVID-19 resource center for team leaders and team members, all now working remote. And you can find that. It's listed here on this page, kevineikenberry.com/COVID-19. That'll get you there. And if you're if you're sort of digging the kinds of stuff I'm talking about here, when you go there, you can click the button to get emails a couple of days a week with updates there to help you as well. But if you sort of are wanting to continue to think about your mindset around this, how you are dealing with this, I'm writing every day a daily email talking about how we can be successful during this time. And you can join us on that list. And that link is also here, kevineikenberry.com/daily. And I see another member of my team is also typing those things in. They're on the side in the comments. They're also up in the description. And so, man, that's what I hope that you will do. Why are we doing that stuff? Because we feel blessed that we're doing work and have experience at doing work that might be helpful for others. And we're trying to do exactly that and be helpful. And that's our heart around this. So we hope that you find this useful and share it if it's helpful to others. If you have specific questions about other things you want us to talk about, you need to let us know what they are. And Marlene will probably type it in there for me, info@kevineikenberry.com, or you can just put a note in here in the comments and we'll get back to it later. Again, you can send a question always to info@kevineikenberry.com. And even if you don't have a specific question, you got a topic area you'd like me to talk about, I can do that too. I'm going to close tonight the way I'm starting to close all of these. And I got this idea from Marlene, who is actually here with us live right now, in terms of how she's now signing her emails. So I'm going to end this the same way that she's ending her emails now, which is be well, be safe, be remarkable. We'll see you all soon.